Hello, my name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome, my lovely Form 2 students in a biology session, and we are currently proceeding with the solving of the Necta question for the year 2018. Welcome. Our today question is question number 60 for the year 2018, and the question stated that define the following terms used in study of balance of nature. Define the following terms used in the study of balance of nature. The first one, Roman 1, biotic components, Roman 2, abiotic component. And the Roman B for this question number 6, give two examples of each of the following groups of organisms in trophic levels. Give two examples of each of the following group of organisms in trophic levels. So, my lovely Form 2 students, this question as the question also defined, this question has been derived from that topic of the balance of nature. It is one a very interesting topic because you learn on the variety of the things which are found in your environment. You come to know on the mode of interaction, the feeding relationship which existing between the living and non-living organism, or between the biotic and abiotic components which are found in the environment. You know that the environment is made up of these living and non-living matters, and they tend to depend on each other for their survival. Example, we human beings, example, air. Within the air, there is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Human beings tend to inhale air and then remove the carbon dioxide, in which that carbon dioxide is used by the plant as raw material for photosynthesis to do manufacture its own food. And that food again, that food is glucose, which is also being converted into the carbohydrate once and the protein, which once consumed by this organism, they tend to get the energy which they use to perform a variety of the cellular metabolic activity. So you see on how air as one of the components or biotic component tend to interact with this living component. So this is all about the balance of nature. It's one of very interesting topic. In case kama bado hujaifuatilia, you're mostly welcome kusearch topic ya balance of nature form 2 now katika media yetu, hivyo unaweza kujifunza zaidi na zaidi. Now let us answer our question. Our first question needs you to give the importance of biotic components. Second one, abiotic components. When we talk on the term biotic, this means the living, while aba means none. So the biotic components, these are the living components which are found in our environment. Example, plants, animal, fungi, and microorganisms. While these abiotic components, these are the non-living components which are found in our environment. Example, water, air, wind, and etc. And the question number 6, Roman B, you are needed to give two examples of each of the following groups of organisms in trophic level. We are going to see them in the next slide. So by starting with the first slide, which you are needed to give to define the following terms which are found in the topic of balance of nature. The first one, which was the biotic component. Biotic component, these are the living components in the environment, such as plants, animal, fungi, and microorganisms. And once we talk on abiotic components, this include non-living organisms that are found in ecosystem. Example, air, solar energy, soil, and nutrients. Once we talk on the ecosystem, this means a natural unit. This is a natural unit in which is made up of naturally occurring living and non-living organisms. So the non-living or abiotic components, these are the non-living components which are found in natural limits, in the natural unit, which consists also of living components. So in an ecosystem, we do have both biotic and abiotic components. Now in second question, you are needed to give the two examples of each of the following group of organisms in the trophic level. So you are being given a table to give the two examples each of the group which has been given a trophic level. Once we talk on the trophic level, this is the position an organism occupy in the food chain or in the feeding relationship, whether in the food chain or in the food web. So this organism here, you are being given producer, not procedure. Sorry for this, is just a typing error. Producers kuna primary consumer na kuna decomposer. So for each group ulipewa producer, primary consumer pamoja na decomposer, you are needed to give 2 example for each case. So tukianza na producer. Producer, these are the organism which are capable of manufacturing their own food. Au tunaita autotroph. Example ni green plants pamoja na algae ambao ni capable of manufacturing their own food. Either kwa mfano plant wanatumia process ya photosynthesis and some algae wanatumia ile chemotropism. Chemosynthesis. Kwa kuna photo ambayo the use of the sunlight na kuna chemosynthesis ambayo the use of the chemicals katika manufacturing of the food, complex food substances from simple inorganic material. So the example of the organism which are found within the producer, example the producer, kuna this green plant ambao ni mimea ambao na produce their own food by the use of the sunlight. That's why tunaita photosynthesis. They tend to use the sunlight to manufacture their own food, and this is aided due to the presence of the chlorophyll, which is contained within the chloroplast, which is essential for trapping this sunlight so as to convert this simple inorganic molecule, which is water and carbon dioxide, to manufacture, to produce the glucose as a product. Also, the primary consumer. Once you talk about the primary consumer, these are the organisms which tend to feed on the producer. Example, these are the herbivores. All grass eating, all plants eating organisms are primary consumers. So examples hapa katika kuna rabbit, kuna cows. These are the herbivores. Wale wanyama ambao wanakuwa wanakula majani au mimea tunawaita ni herbivores. Kwa hiyo ndio wanakuwepo ni primary consumer. Alafu decomposers, tunaambia tutoe mfano mzuri wa decomposer. Decomposer, these are the organism ambao wenyewe wana feed on those dead plant and animal remains. So they tend to feed on these dead remains and converting or releasing the nutrients which has been contained in those dead and plant remains back into the environment for nutrient recycling. So this is how the question needed to be answered. Another question is question number 7 for the year 2018, and the question states that study the structure of a virus shown below and then answer the question that follow. Study the structure of virus shown below and answer the question that follow. This is the structure of the virus, my lovely Form 2 students. This question has been read from that topic of the digestion, especially in the digestion in mammals. So the process of digestion or the human digestive system is where this structure is found. So in case kama hujafuatilia, you are mostly welcome to follow it in our media, Educare Media. Just write the nutrition Form 2, you will get the full coverage of the topic, where you're going to see the nutrition in plants, nutrition in animals, also the food processing and preservation. You are going to gain a lot pertaining this particular topic. Today the question has been asked in this particular section of the digestive system in human, or you don't know, the another Necta question will come from which part in this topic of the nutrition. So mostly welcome kama hujafuatilia, so that you can deepen your understanding, also so that you can have an ability to tackle different questions from the topic of the nutrition. So after studying the diagram here, you have been given, here you have been given the letter from this diagram. You have been given the letter A, which has been located here. The letter B has been located inside in these tubes like or vessel like. Also the Roman C has been located in these vessels. B in this mid part, as you see, this mid part, this is B. A, this is outer one, hapa ya nje, hapo ndio imeonyesha A. B ni hapa ya ndani ya katikati. Alafu C, these vessels like ambazo zimekuwa zimepita, ambazo zimepishana hapo na represent C. So baada ya kustudy the diagram, now let us see the question. The question states that the Roman A for the question 7, in which part of the alimentary canal is villus found? In which part of the alimentary canal is villus found? The question Roman B, name the part labeled with the letter A, B, and C. You have been given diagram. Now you are needed to label the part which has been labeled by letter A, B, and C. And another question, Roman C. State the adaptation of the vilus for the absorption of food in the alimentary canal. State the adaptation of the vilus for the absorption of food in the alimentary canal. So by starting with the first question, which you were asked to name in which part of the alimentary canal is vilus found. In which part of the alimentary canal is vilus found? So the vilus, my lovely Form 2 student, it is found in that structure of the digestive system alimentary canal known as the ileum. Ileum is one of the part of the small intestine. It forms the largest portion, and it has the structure which is highly coded known as the vilus, so as to increase the surface area for the absorption of the nutrient. So this structure or highly coded structure is known as the vilus. So the vilus is found within the ileum. The second one is name the part labeled with the letter A, B, and C. So the part which has been labeled A is known as absorptive cell, B is known as the lacteal, and the C is known, these are the blood capillaries. As you see here, kwa hapa B, A hapa ni absorptive cell, B ni lacteal, alafu C hizi hapa ni blood capillaries zilizopita humu. These are the blood capillaries, hapa B ni lacteal, alafu A ni absorptive cell. The question number Roman B, you are needed to state the adaptation of the vilus for the absorption of food in the alimentary canal. How the vilus tend to adapt for the absorption of the food in the alimentary canal. So the first one, it is long to provide a surface area for digestion and absorption. The vilus, it is highly long so as to maximize and to increase the time for maximum and complete absorption of the food and digestion. The second one is that it is highly correlated to increase surface area for digestion and absorption. Tumeangalia katika, kwa mfano hata katika brain topic yetu transport, tumeona kwamba katika topic that is a topic of the form theory, sorry for misconception. So katika the any structure ambayo ni highly correlated inasaidia all that is adaptation, kwa mfano kwenye alveolus, yes, alveoli ambayo inapatikana katika lungs, ni topic yenu ya respiration and gaseous exchange. It is highly correlated. This is an adaptation kuweza increase the surface area for the absorption of the nutrient. Vile vile it has villi and microvilli which increase the surface area for absorption. This villi, they tend to have the microvilli kuweza kuongeza the surface area for the absorption. So this is how the question needed to be answered. Another question, and the last one, this is question number 9 for the year 2018. The question states that define the following terms. Aerobic respiration. Second one is anaerobic respiration. The question number 9, Roman B, states that mention the product of anaerobic respiration in the yeast cell. And the last one, write a balanced equation that summarizes the process of aerobic respiration. My lovely Form 2 students, before we answer the question, now let us be familiar with the instruction to follow. The first thing, question or Roman A question, just you are needed to give the definition of the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The Roman B, you are needed just to mention the product of anaerobic respiration in the yeast cell. Just mention the product of anaerobic respiration in the yeast cell. And the last one, or Roman C question, needs you to just writing a balanced equation that summarizes the process of aerobic respiration. Now, after seeing the instruction now, the question has been derived from that topic of the gaseous exchange and respiration. So in order to answer the question very correctly, you are needed to have the knowledge pertaining the concept of the respiration, which is found within this topic of the gaseous exchange and respiration. So needed to have a deep understanding pertaining the concept of the respiration, not just memorizing but understanding now you can answer the question. So my lovely Form 2 students, Before we answer the question now, let us be familiarize ourselves with what is respiration before we define the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Once we talk on the respiration, this refers to the step-by-step process of breaking down complex food substances so as to into smallest particles so as to release energy in form of ATP, which can be used for variety of the bodily activities such as growth and the development. So that process of breaking, or this is the cellular process of breaking down complex food substance step by step so as to release energy, which can be used to perform a variety of metabolic activity into the body, like growth and development, heating, and so forth, is known as the respiration. And we have two types of the respiration. We have the aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Once we talk on aerobic respiration, this is a type of the respiration that involve the stepwise breaking down of this complex food substance in the presence of the oxygen, or in other terms we call it the combustion reaction, because we tend to break down this complex food substance, which is glucose, in the presence of oxygen to form the carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, energy in form of ATP. And while we talk on the anaerobic respiration, this is a stepwise process of breaking down the glucose molecule in the absence of oxygen to release either alcohol or lactic acid. We are going to see that anaerobic respiration tend to take place in plant and animal cell, where in the plant cell, in the aerobic respiration is called or is known as the fermentation. It ends up in production of the alcohol, while in animal it ends up to produce the pyruvic acid. So now let us answer our question. By starting with the first one, you needed to define the aerobic respiration. As I have already explained now, the aerobic respiration, this is a combustion reaction. This means that oxygen is required in order to generate ATP. This is a combustion reaction, meaning that the oxygen is used to break down the glucose molecule. This glucose, the one that has been produced by the process of photosynthesis by the plants. So it is being broken down by the use of the oxygen so as to generate energy in form of ATP. So, and then the simplified reaction of the carbohydrate is C6 hydrogen 12 oxygen. This is a simplified chemical symbol or formula of the glucose or carbohydrates. So, the glucose is broken down in the presence of oxygen into water and carbon dioxide also and ATP. Because this is a combustion, and the glucose, this is an organic compound, organic molecule. So once it is being broken in the presence of oxygen, you tend to produce carbon dioxide and water. Also, the ATP is being generated. And another term is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, this is a process whereby energy is released in the absence of oxygen. So this involves the breaking down of this glucose in the absence of oxygen to release energy in form of ATP. And anaerobic respiration differ in plant and animal. This anaerobic respiration tend to take place both in plant and animal, but it tend to differ. Example, in plant cell and yeast it is alcoholic respiration, while in animals it is lactic acid fermentation, ambayo lactic acid ambayo nikipelekea ikiaccumulate katika body tissue, tunapokuwepo na ile oxygen ndio tunapelekea the muscle cramp katika misuli ya binadamu, especially those people when they are exercising kwa muda mrefu without resting. Vile vile, the question number 9 Roman B, you need to mention the product of anaerobic respiration in the yeast cell. Mention the product of anaerobic respiration in the yeast cell. Tumesema kwamba this process of anaerobic respiration to differ in plant and animal. In plant and animal fermentation, ambayo inaenda with the production of the alcohol. So this is what is needed. So, in the presence of alcoholic fermentation, the glucose molecule is broken down into ethanol and carbon dioxide and water. Call the product. Just one needed to write the product. You can't give the product kama ujui the reaction. Tumesema kwamba katika anaerobic respiration this glucose molecule is being broken down in the absence of oxygen to yield this ATP. Kwa hivyo tunapozungumzia the anaerobic respiration katika yeast cell au katika plant, tuna end up with the production of the alcohol as major product. So when the glucose molecule is being broken in the absence of oxygen, tunaenda kupata the product yetu, tunaenda kupata ni ethanol au alcohol as one of the major product. Tunapata na carbon dioxide pamoja na ATP, ambayo ATP inatumika kwa ajili ya different activity into the plant, either for the growth and development. So these are the product. Kwa product of anaerobic respiration katika yeast cell ni ethanol, carbon dioxide and ATP. These are the product. And the major one ni hapa ethanol. So ukijibu hivi, just we needed to write the equation like that. Baada hapo utaandika ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy form of ATP. Paka hapo unakuwa tayari umejibu swali lako. The last question, you asked to write a balanced equation that summarizes the process of aerobic respiration. Tumeona kwamba aerobic respiration ni pale ambapo glucose is being broken down in the presence of the oxygen. Kwa hapa unatakiwa andike the balanced chemical equation, ambapo ukimreactisha the glucose ukamreactisha na oxygen ambayo ni combustion reaction, product ambayo tunataka kuipata ni carbon dioxide, water pamoja na ATP. This is what we needed to write a balanced chemical equation, ambapo tunaona kwamba hapa tulikuwa tuna glucose plus oxygen, tukapata ni carbon dioxide plus water pamoja na ATP. It is balanced. Kivipi? Tunaona hapa ukiangalia katika left side tuna carbon, total carbon tunao 6. The same katika product side wako 6 carbon, hydrogen wako 12, the same hapa wako 12 hydrogen. Oxygen wapo toto ni hapa 6, hapa 12, toto 18. The same hapa 12 jumlisha 6 hapa ni 8, ni 8, nao toto wanakupo ni 18. So it is balanced. So this is what you are needed just to write. So my lovely Form 2 student, thank you for your careful attention. I hope that you understand the lesson. In case of any misconception, suggestion, you are mostly welcome. Also, in case if you have any question, you are mostly welcome to write in the comment section, so that I can make a follow-up or I can cross-check so as to see on how I can help you so as to improve your learning. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned at Educare Media for further learning. Have a nice moment.